Hey everybody, welcome back to Battle Ready Inc. So today's deck profile, we're covering BT7 Machinedramon. Now this is pretty similar to EX1, however, we got some new support in the form of Chaosdramon, which really amplifies this deck to a whole nother level. There was a big debate in EX1 of which secondary mega you should run. That debate is over. It is Chaosdramon through and through without debate. But also, we got some nice spicy alternate forms that we weren't running in EX1. Some people were jumping on this one in EX1. I was a little bit too much of a purist at the time, but I've really come around and seen the light on this different build. Also, our new memory marker for the month of March is going to be Doraemon. So all you ex-antibody players out there excited for this, it is finally here and available. Also, we have combined our stores together in a single Etsy shop. There you can get access to all of our previous memory markers we've had on the channel, as well as you can get access to our Battle Ready Inc. merch. So our white game mat, as well as our black Digitama sleeves, and our dice are soon to come. They're still a bit of a work in progress, trying to get the last master mold in place and then start pouring out some resin dice for you guys. So check those links in the description below. All right, so let's go ahead and jump right into this. So first thing you might notice is blue in the baby slot. Yes, for those that aren't aware, Kaiser Nail is phenomenal in this deck. Absolutely a game changer for sure. It's so good. So we've got the Demi Vmon, which combos great with the jamming Vmon. Probably the best generic Evo in raising area blue rookie that you can possibly run. Almost the best generic rookie in the game. Just a rookie with jamming. 3 play cost, 0 Evo cost. That's where it's at. So the jamming with the Demi Vmon, so we get a draw, as well as, you know, hit into anything in security and it not die most of the time, is just a great card. If he survives, the opponent has to put resources into removing him off the field, which means they're not putting resources into clearing your security or deleting your more important black Digimon off field. So very, very cool include for this. Next we got Hagirmon. This is from EX1. This one's like super important. This is the on play, trash a machine or cyborg in your hand to draw 2. So all your level 5s, you're going to be ditching tons of level 5s, so that way you can hard play your level 6 Machinedramon. And that's kind of like a lot of what you're doing in this deck is a whole lot of just trying to fill up the trash for that Machinedramon. Next, I got Nanimon in here. This is a kind of a flex spot. He's kind of interesting. So 3 play cost level 4 is really good. That alone is amazing. Getting him to play out of security for free is super cool when it pops off. Just surprise your opponent with a whole extra body on field that now they have to worry about, you know, you going for game against them because they hit him out of security. That's really cool. But level 4 3 play cost, we have some level 5s that when digivolving, we can reveal top 3 of our deck, add preferably a Machinedramon, trash everything else. So you can trash a bunch of level 5s. We don't do a whole lot of evoing with those level 5s for the most part in the game, but he is a nice kind of just a random spot where actually that is a viable strategy for us to do. So I went ahead and bumped him at a 4 of just to kind of increase the likelihood of hitting him into security. Then we got 2 Mechanoren. I think there's definitely always argument for running more of him. 4 play cost for level 4 is still pretty low. A blocker, if you don't know about Mechanoren, this guy is bananas. In a format with lots of low DP Digimon flooding the field, he's unstoppable. So 6,000 DP, he's blocking most level 4s, all level 3s in the game, and then every time he blocks and survives, he gets to unsuspend. So basically, he sits on the field, the opponent keeps attacking all their Digimon, and he just repeatedly blocks all of them one after another, because every time he kills one, he unsuspends. And that 6,000 DP is very solid for that. So just at a 2 of to stop those, like, whatever rogue decks that you might have to worry about. Anyone that's just kind of doing like a hybrid rush, like level 4 hybrid rush on you, just completely shuts that down, as well as just any kind of rookie shenanigans that might be going on, D-Brigade and such. Really hits D-Brigade hard. And then we're going to get into our level 5s here. So most of these are just, you're trashing them as much as possible. You're not going to be evoing most of these, hardly ever. They're just here for their different names. Machinedramon's requirements say that you have to pick 5 from trash or hand that have different names. So we like a really nice diverse spread instead of like stacking up with 3s and 4s on anything. So first up, we got Megadramon. This is the one that gives the inheritable of your turn. This Digimon gets 2,000 DP. And then we got Gigadramon, which is opponent's turn. This Digimon gets 2,000 DP. So 1 for the opponent, 1 for your turn. And then, by the way, all these are going to be cyborgs. That's another important part, is you have to pick cyborg types. Next is Vulcan Volcanomon, and this is just a security attack +1. It only works while your opponent has an unsuspended Digimon, but that's not too hard to trigger for the most part. Honestly, a lot of the time this is almost always live. Again, though, just a one of cyborg level 5 type to add to our pool. Now we got some red ones in here. We've got Metal Greymon Cyborg, and this is your turn. Once per turn, when one of your opponent's Digimon is deleted, you gain 1 memory. This is brand new at a BT7. Also, the on play could be relevant depending on the deck. On play, if you have a tamer in play, gain 2 memory, so it kind of reduces his evo cost down, or his play cost down to 5. So if you really need a hard play out of level 5 and then evo your mega on top of him, he is an okay choice because he can be potentially a 5 play cost depending on your build. And then his other part doesn't really matter. If you don't have a tamer, you can play a 1 red tamer. Sad, it's a red tamer. If it was just a generic tamer, this guy would be really good in this deck for sure. But it is not. But anyways, moving on. Again, he's just a one of this. Mainly, it's in this inheritable is the when you delete something, gain 1 memory. That's where it's at. Next, we got the level 5 Megadramon from EX1. This is the inheritable that gives security attack +1. As long as it's a machine, which all of your level 6s on top of him will be a machine, it will give them security attack +1. So another great target for sure. This is like one of our go-tos. We really, really like the Megadramon, and then our next couple here are our main targets for level 5s. We got the Metal Greymon, also from EX1. This one gives piercing to your machines. So piercing, security attack +1. Your red cards are your really good offensive cards. And then now we got our black ones here, which are going to be Andromon, which has the inheritable of blocker. So making your Machinedramon have blocker is really good. Also, this is when the when digivolving effects start coming into play. It's got to be black, but when digivolving, you may reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, add 1 level 6 with machine and its traits to your hand, trash the remaining cards. So you get to add that level 6 machine, and then all those level 5s that you reveal, they all get to go to trash. Even if you don't reveal a level 6 machine, if you reveal a bunch of level 5s, they all get to go to the trash also. So it's really great for sure. So he is one of our main ones. And our second, or I guess our third main target is going to be the Metal Tyrannomon here. This one gives reboot to our machines. Same exact when digivolving ability. Doesn't come up a lot, but again, when it does, you definitely want the Nanimon for free on field to evo these guys on top of. So he's going to give you reboot. We got reboot, blocker, piercing, and security attack +1. That's going to be our main ones. And then just rounding out, we have one more when digivolving here from EX1. But his inheritable is when attacking. If this Digimon has machine and its traits, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with a play cost of 5 or less. So that's going to be, memory blockers that are in your way that are super annoying. You can clear those memory blockers out, as well as stuff like blockers in general. A lot of blockers, I wouldn't say most, but a lot of blockers have a 5 play cost or less, unless they are the 1 evo cost blockers, in which case those are going to be 6 play cost, but those are used a lot less, I would say now. Most blockers in general aren't really used in this format. If you're wondering why, go check out my Why Blockers Are Bad video, because BT7 really just makes blockers irrelevant. Next up, we got our main focus of the deck. This is our Machinedramon. So you'll almost always play this guy, honestly. Very, very seldom will you be in those really rough situations where you have to evo. It does come up, but preferably you want to play this one. On play, you may place up to 5 level 5 red and or black Digimon with Cyborg and their traits, and different card numbers from your hand and or trash in this Digimon's Digivolution cards to gain 1 memory for each card place. So this 12 play cost becomes basically a 7 play cost. Still pretty big. And that's always the issue with this deck, is anytime you give your opponent like a crazy amount of memory like that, they can really kind of abuse it against you, or just clear him off field. You hard play a Mega and the opponent just clears him. However, this guy's got some really nice defensive abilities here. So all turns, this Digimon DP can't be reduced. So no like Wyvern's Breath to remove him off field or anything like that. And then also all turns, when this Digimon would be deleted, you may trash 2 level 5 Digimon cards in this Digimon's Digivolution cards to prevent this Digimon from being deleted. So yeah, you give your opponent a bunch of memory, but they can't use that to delete him off field, right? Because he's got all this protection. So he's going to at least protect himself 2 times. If you're putting 5 Digimon underneath, he can get rid of 2 Digimon twice, to protect himself twice. So very, very like solid card, I think. Really liking him. And the combinations of inheritables. So you've got all these level 5s to pick from, really tailor to whatever you need. If you need 2 security attack +1 and another security attack +1 and a piercing, you can do that. If you need like the DP to help you swing over, you can go with like a really offensive, Evo chain there to go like really aggro on your opponent. If you need to go super defensive, you go blocker reboot. That's a good combo. I always liked, my favorite combos is probably doing blocker reboot and piercing security attack +1. Usually the 5th one doesn't matter a whole lot, but there's still plenty to choose from. Usually it ends up just kind of being whatever, because you notice our main ones here are all at 2-ofs. I kind of want to bump the Megadramon up by 1. However, we got Megadramon and the Volcanomon, which basically kind of do the same thing. So it's kind of like running 2 Megadramons anyways. Just kind of how I see it. Next, we got our new Mega for the deck. Our brand new support. Absolutely wonderful card. If you saw the feature match with this guy popping off, wow, he is phenomenal. So your Machinedramon can digivolve into this card in your hand for a memory cost of 1, ignoring this card's Digivolution requirements. So this 4 Evo then turns into a 1 Evo on top of Machinedramon. But when you do that, keep in mind you lose your protection. You lose the protection that Machinedramon has built in. But what you get for it in place is when digivolving, you may place 1 red or black level 5 card with Cyborg and its traits from your hand or trash on top of this card's Digivolution cards to delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 6,000 DP or less for each level 5. In this Digivolution cards. So you play this Machinedramon out, get 5 sources underneath him, digivolve into the Chaosdramon for 1, and adding a 6th inheritable underneath, and now you're popping up to 6 targets of your opponents. Absolutely nuts. Clearing just a huge board wipe on your opponent. Really, really liking Chaosdramon. But there's been plenty of instances where I've digivolved him on top of a level 5. It wasn't a big deal. Evo on top of a level 5, place a second level 5 underneath. I get 2 pops, okay? Again, if you saw the feature match, we did that. We popped the 2 memory blockers, which then opened up our Machinedramon. Because our Machinedramon, his effect isn't reduce his play cost, it's gain memory. And gaining memory is kind of easy to stop. So just kind of keep that in mind as well. The Machinedramon here is gain memory back. So you have to at least be at 2 memory to play him, which is kind of a shame. But it's still a very nasty combo. Whether you're Evo and Chaosdramon on top of a Machinedramon that you hard played, or you're just Evo and Chaosdramon on top of a random level 5. Either way, very powerful card. Next up is, this is kind of an either-or sort of thing here. We've got Omnimon Zort Defeat here. If you're not familiar, security, when he gets hit in security, you get to play him for free. The battle doesn't occur, though, so whatever swings into him, if it's got a lower DP, it still survives. Keep that in mind. But you do get to play him for free, which is really cool. He is also a 3 Evo cost on top of your Machinedramon. However, if you Evo your Chaosdramon on top of your Machinedramon, you can't then go defeat on top of him because Chaosdramon is red. He's not treated as black also, which is a real shame. I think he should have had the tagline that he's also treated as a black Digimon. That would have been perfect. So defeat kind of, he's good, but also bad. Being able to play him for free is super cool. But if you hard draw him, you can only evo him on top of your Machinedramon. And if you look over there, we are running all delete. So that's kind of the purpose of what we're getting into here. So, and then on deletion, you can delete one of your opponent's Digimon. So a whole lot of useful stuff. When Digivolving, you can delete a Tamer in a Tamer-heavy format. Very good also. So he's got a lot of different uses going on here. The alternative, though, is playing Alter S. So Alter S is a 6 Evo cost, which is a lot more steep. If he gets in security, you kind of lose out on his getting him in general. But he's still really cool because you can Evo him on top of either of these guys, and I think that's a leg up in a way. Is being able to Evo on both of these guys is pretty important. So it's really big debate for sure. But then so you can de-digivolve one of your opponent's stuff and then delete all of your opponent's Digimon with 5,000 DP or less. A big issue kind of with this guy is that when you do that de-digivolve and it's a hybrid and it goes into a Tamer, you can't delete the Tamer because it's not a Digimon with 5,000 DP or less. So keep that in mind when you Evo with this guy. He's just kind of, I don't know, I feel like he's a budget option over the defeat in a way. Both have their arguments for which one. Him being able to Evo on both megas, the defeat being able to pop out of security or Evo for only 3 on top of the Machinedramon. I think he edges out just a little bit over the Alter S. Price-wise, Alter S is significantly cheaper though. But both of them are in the deck. Whichever one you prefer, run them at a 2 of, and then we're running all delete. Now, this is a whopping 10 play cost, so keep that in mind. If you're curious of another build, check out the feature match where we have a different build without all delete. I'll also show that at the end of this. But it's a really spicy include. Main, you may return one of your Digimon with Omnimon in its name to its owner's hand to delete all Digimon and Tamers. Trash all the deletion cards of the Digimon you returned with this effect. So delete the whole board. So that huge swarm of Tamers your opponent has been building up there and just stalling the game with, delete all those Tamers. You delete all your opponent's Tamers in a hybrid deck, that is almost a death sentence. You clear 6-7 Tamers off their field before they start evoing like crazy and popping off. You probably just won the game. At that point, you just basically set them so far back and put all those Tamers in the trash that they're going to be struggling significantly. Next, we do have the 3 Analog Youth, which is a very cool include in this. On play, reveal top 3 cards of your deck, add a Digimon card to your hand, trash the remaining cards. So again, we can reveal a bunch of cards, add like a Machinedramon, and then trash like a bunch of level 5s. The fact that we can keep trashing level 5s through multiple different ways is very cool. So Analog Youth, really, really cool for that. But his other effect isn't to be slept on because when one of your level 5 or higher Digimon with Digivolution cards is deleted, you may suspend this Tamer and gain a memory. You can also hatch a Digi-Egg. Most of the time, that's not going to matter in this deck. But most of the stuff that we're playing in here is going to be like hard dropping, megas or evoing into megas like rapidly. So he's going to have a ton of value like almost immediately. But mainly it's that he's a 2 play cost to search 3 and then trash Digimon. Trashing those level 5s is very good for only a 2 play cost. Pretty solid. This card is very similar to Analog Youth in a way. This is Ultimate Connection, which is from EX1. This is like a must-of in this deck. In this deck, a 4 of, absolutely. Trash 1 level 5 Digimon, or 1 level 5 Digimon with Cyborg in its trait to gain 2 memory and draw 1. So the 1 play cost basically turns into a 0 play cost, gain 1 memory. Whatever you're at, you'll always go 1 higher. And you get a draw. And you get a trash a level 5. The trashing level 5 is huge. Drawing a card to replace it, also very big. You can kind of argue that it's bad in the aspect of it's a neg 1, right? You have to use this card in your hand and discard another card. That's 2 cards gone out of your hand and 1 to replace it. So it's a neg 1. You essentially gain only a single memory for that. But you got to keep in mind that you're putting a level 5 in trash. Putting a level 5 in trash is also very important. So really like this card. In most situations, not that great. In a Machinedramon focused deck, absolutely a must-have, incredible card. I do have 2 Iron Fisted Onslaught in the deck. I think it's a great card for sure. We can clear little stuff really easily, right? Between the Chaosdramon being able to clear little things very easily, or the Metal Mamemon Inheritable being able to clear little things really easily, we don't have to worry about most small things. The issue is your opponent sticks a Susanomon on you. You don't have enough DP in your deck to get over that. Iron Fisted Onslaught in most general cases is going to be able to handle that Susanomon. Susanomon, if it stays on field past your turn and it gets back to its turn and it can finally start attacking, you're going to be in trouble, okay? So being able to clear that off field, I think, is going to be so important. In this format, I think everyone should be running some sort of big threat removal. Big threat removal, not a little or mediocre threat. Everyone should have in mind, if a Susanomon appears against me, I have to have an option card in my deck that can kill it. There's got to be something, and it's got to be something, preferably probably something that can delete it while it's unsuspended. So you shouldn't be relying on trying to attack over it or attacking into it with retaliation. Because if it's already attacked, then you're probably in a bad position. Honestly, it's probably too late. If Susanomon's attacked, you're probably already done for. So being able to delete it as soon as they evo into it in past turn, you need to be able to delete it right then, and that's what Iron Fisted Onslaught's for. Next, we have the Spice. Besides the all delete, the Kaisernail is phenomenal. So 4 play cost, choose a Digimon Digivolution card placed under one of your Digimon and play it as another Digimon without paying its memory cost. And you also get your on-play effects. That's what's so bananas. You get your on-play effects. So you go Chaosdramon on top of this Machinedramon, right? And then you play Kaisernail. Play out the Machinedramon for free. Well, essentially for free. 4 play costs to play a Machinedramon for free. Use his on-play effect. Put 5 sources underneath him. Gain 5 memory back. Your Kaisernail that was a 4 play cost ended up being a 0 play cost plus 1. Yeah, that's absolutely bananas. And if this thing gets hit in security and you do that play, you can pass your opponent's turn super easily. So Kaisernail hits in security. You play out the Machinedramon for free and gain all that memory that your opponent did not see them losing 5 memory immediately, and then pass his turn right back to you. So good. So good. We do have Tidal Wave also. I've seen some people play in their decks. It's a 7 play cost, and it's choose up to 2 Digimon to do that same trick. Most of the time, I've only ever got 1 target on field anyways. If I've only ever got 1 target, that 3 extra play cost is a little steep. Really, unless it's getting hit in security, it's not something I should rely on. I just would rather probably most of the time, like 9.9 times out of 10, I'd rather just have Kaisernail. But I did want to at least talk about it in case people were wondering why I wasn't choosing it. Just because I'd rather have the Kaisernail. I think it's going to be a little bit better. We'll get to what to do here in a second. So we've only had 3 of. Right now we're at 50 cards. Next we do have the 1 Ice Wall. We're playing blue. Like, we got to play blue option cards. 1 Ice Wall, sure. This card is so good. Even at 1, like stopping your opponent for basically an entire turn. 1 more turn is just like night and day for sure. Like something you cannot pass up the option to have a card that says, hey, you get 1 more turn to live and to win. Okay, so playing this card at the perfect opportune moments, 1 play cost. Yeah, I'm gonna be that guy, and I'm gonna play Ice Wall in this for sure. And in the security, gain 2 memory. Your opponent is never going to expect an Ice Wall in a black Machinedramon deck being in security. So they're going to swing in and they're going to hit this Ice Wall and it's going to pass turn, and they are going to probably flip the table. Honestly, they're probably going to flip the table. So you see that Ice Wall get hit in security, you better hold on to your cards, let me tell you. So pretty interesting include. I'm going to go ahead and zoom out for you so you can get a good clear picture of the deck. Again, if you want to take a screenshot or anything like that, now would be a solid time for sure. And again, right now we're at 50 cards. I'd really like to play that Chaosdramon at 4 of. You could argue dropping the Ice Wall and not being that guy and play Chaosdramon at 4 of. If the mega count is too high for you, you can drop one of those. Also, going to show my other version as well. If you want to drop this Alter S or Defeat and all delete combo, if it's just too much for you, all delete is just way too expensive. You don't want to go that route. My alternative build is this one right here. The Defeat is still fine. I think you can drop the all delete and still run the Defeat. It can evo on top of the Machinedramon. It can hit out of security. It's just a nice little include. Again, you can still drop the Defeat as well and just pump these numbers up here. What we were talking about earlier with the Megadramon here, that security tag +1. If you want to get one more of these guys in here, you can do that. Just giving yourself a little bit more level 5s to go through. That's still completely viable. Also, he's still kind of an expensive card, so if you want to make this a little bit more budget friendly, you can cut him out and then just pump some of these other numbers up super easily. Really, the deck really just kind of works on its own as is. We also bumped Mechanoren up to 3 because I really like him at 3. I think 4 is a little excessive. But again, I dropped the 2 all deletes here for another Mechanoren and another Chaosdramon is what I went with. But again, you can drop the Defeat for some more level 5s very, very easily.